lot of us talk about having healthy hair, I think it's really natural for us to kind of gravitate towards talking about the products that we use. We talk a lot about the deep conditioners that we use, the leave-in conditioners, the curl creams, you name it. We really focus on those. And I'm not denying that those are really important. They definitely are, and it's why I have an entire playlist dedicated to product reviews. But something else that's really important as well is just the items that we use. I'm talking about things like brushes to style our hair with, hair ties, water bottles. You know, there's like a litany of things that we use to help encourage the health of our hair that aren't actually hair products. So today I really want to focus on my top 10 game-changing items that I bought off Amazon that really have just changed things around for me. And I will leave links down in the description box below for all of these items. So if that is something you are interested in, stay tuned. If you like content like this on healthy hair, like and subscribe. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lena and welcome to my bathroom. Let's get started. I'm going to try to keep this as organized as possible. I'm going to lump together things that I think are kind of related. Now, if I think any of these need a little bit more context, I will add a link up above, or in some cases, I may end up just putting it down in the description box below. So check those out if you think you need more information on these, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is the 10 products I would recommend from Amazon to help encourage healthy hair. The first one that I think has been really important for me is my diffuser. Now, I would mention the blow dryer as well, but I think that this blow dryer is discontinued. This is the Xtava blow dryer. So that's what goes with this diffuser, but I don't know if you can get this anymore. So I'm going to talk about this diffuser specifically. This is the Black Orchid DIffuser. I really like this because of how big it is. It means that if you do some sort of pixie diffusing method or anything like that when you're cupping your hair, it's going to cup a lot more hair. It also just covers more ground, even if you're doing more of a hover diffuse. So that way it just helps dry your hair quicker. It also has a lot of nice holes in the center of it, just again for air distribution. So I really like this. Because the blow dryer is discontinued, I'm also going to just kind of give an honorable mention. If you have a diffuser and a blow dryer that do not fit together, there is a product called the Snozzle Pro. I don't have it, but I've heard good things about it. So I will make sure to link that down below as well. But the Snozzle Pro just helps you make sure that your diffuser and your blow dryer are staying together, even if they're not, technically fit. So the second one is this spray bottle. Now I know that you can get this from a lot of different companies. You can get it in a lot of different brands. It's a continuous spray bottle. Now by continuous spray, it doesn't mean like nonstop, but it lasts longer than your average one. So like, you just have to spray a lot less times than a cheaper one to get the same amount of water out. So I like this because I hated just kind of spraying. This is much nicer and does a lot better job. Item number 3, I know this one has gotten very popular on Instagram and YouTube, but it's just these alligator clips. I thought they deserved a mention, but I really like these because they do have this flexible hinge, and that just allows it to form over your hair better. So I like to use these when I'm sectioning my hair off for styling, or if I'm in the shower, I like to use these to put my hair up with conditioner in it, just so I can do the rest of my shower routine and let my hair kind of sit up. Like most clips, being cautious about pulling it out, it does have little bumps down here. I've never struggled too much with getting this one out of my hair in the sense of having it catch my hair and pull on it, other than, kind of as typical, sometimes it'll get caught up here and you just have to remove it carefully. Item number 4, I'm going to talk about hair ties. So I don't like to use traditional hair ties because they really just break your hair very easily and cause a lot of damage. Instead, I like to use these. This is an Invisibobble. Now, I know you can get off-brand ones of these as well, but I suggest the Invisibobble itself because I have had this for over 1.5 years now and it has not broken. And that's a big deal for me because I break hair ties so easily. But this is nice because of the coiled nature of it. It's not going to break your hair as easily, but it's also not going to leave an indent in your hair. So I really like this. I think this is a great option. That being said, when I pull my hair up, I don't always like to use a ponytail. So right now I don't have a hair tie or anything in it. Instead, what I'm using is one of these. I have used traditional claw clips for a very long time, the ones that are kind of just more rounded, but they always kind of just release my hair slowly over time. My hair slips out of them and just kind of loosens, and it doesn't stay in the style that I put it in. This one, however, holds really well, and it's going to keep it in place. So like if I shake my head really quick, it's not moving. That being said, I also want to mention this. I have not had the teeth on one of these break. So briefly, I have an entire bag of these. I have only used one of them, and I have not had it break. When I use a traditional claw clip, the teeth always break on me. I have not had the teeth break on one of these. And the other thing, the only thing that I would note here is that the spring sometimes will pop out of place if I try to put it over too much hair. So if I try to slip it on a bun as opposed to just like a ponytail like this, the spring will pop out of place. But that being said, I've never had one break so much that I can't fix it. I just pop the spring back in place and just keep using it. So that is definitely a benefit. I've used the same one for probably about 5 or 6 months now, if not longer, and I have not had issues with it. So definitely suggest these. So on to number 6. It's kind of still in the category of hair ties. But if you watched any of my previous videos, you know that I like to use satin, silk, or bamboo scrunchies because they do a lot less damage on your hair. Up until recently, I've been using a silk scrunchie, but it started to kind of fray a little bit. And when I looked at replacing it, I found you could buy a bag of 60 multicolored satin scrunchies for about the same price as a silk one. So I think silk is still a good option, but if you want some variety, this is a really good option. And I like to use these to sleep with. Not only that, but my daughter likes to play with them. She's only a 1.5 years, so the colors are awesome. But on the same note of things that we use to sleep with our hair, on to number 7 is my bonnet. Now, this isn't as much of a traditional bonnet. It's part of why I like it and part of why I wanted to mention it is this is more shaped like a beanie. So you can just wear this as a casual beanie. I've used this before if my hair is not dry yet and I need to go outside to get the mail or something like that. I use this to protect my hair. But the inside of it is satin. So it's going to be much smoother and gentler on your hair and it's not going to cause frizz. So that is definitely a benefit of it. But another big reason that I really like this one as opposed to the other one that I used in my sleeping with curly hair video is the reason I got rid of that one was because the band of it had stretched out so bad that it wasn't really staying on my head anymore. So this one actually has a drawstring on it. Now it's pretty low profile, so it's not gonna annoy you or anything like that unless you're a little more sensitive. I've never had an issue with it keeping me awake or bothering me. But the drawband is nice because you can adjust it to however tight you want it to be. If it stretches a little bit, you just tighten it again. So I really like this one. This is definitely my go-to and what I definitely suggest for protecting your hair at night if you like to use a bonnet. On to number 8. So I do actually have 2 here. They're the same concept, but I kind of wanted to touch on both of them and you'll kind of see why. So I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but when you do a deep conditioning treatment, especially if you're like me with low porosity hair, the product has a hard time penetrating your hair. So I really like to use a heat cap to help the product just do its job a little better. In previous videos, I've used this heat cap, which is a gel heat cap. So it's just filled with gel. You throw it in the microwave for like 1.5 minutes and then you put it on your hair. There are a few things I don't like about this one though. One, because it's that gel, it gets very, very, very hot, but it also cools off really quickly. So I've actually had this one burn my scalp before because it's too hot, which is probably honestly doing a little bit of damage to my hair as well. The other reason I don't really like this one is I used this for about 1 year, maybe 1.5 years. And one day I put it in the microwave after doing my deep conditioning and it burst. I don't know if you can see those on camera, but there's a few of them throughout the perimeter of it. I opened the microwave and it was actually smoking and I can't use this one anymore. But the reason I want to mention this one is because it is a cheaper option. This one is somewhere under $20. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but it's a lot more affordable option. Whereas the one that I'm currently using is a little more expensive. So this is a flaxseed heat cap. This one ranges anywhere from $30 to $40, I believe. But this one really retains heat a little bit better. It distributes the heat a little bit better, and it's not going to burst like that one did. So if you can budget for it, I would definitely recommend this one. It has made a world of difference when using a deep conditioning treatment. It has really helped me on my healthy hair journey to really encourage the health of my hair. It just really helps to promote it. So I definitely recommend checking one of these type of things out. On to number 9, I'm kind of moving on to brushes. The first one I want to talk about is this scalp brush. So again, the same with the water bottle. I know there are a lot of brands out there, so I'll just link the one that I bought down below. But these are just really nice because the bristles are super flexible. They're made out of silicone, so they're not going to grab your hair. I've never had issues with these getting caught in my hair or breaking it. And it really just helps you remove any buildup or exfoliate your scalp a little bit too. It also gives you a little bit of a nice scalp massage while you're shampooing your hair. So definitely recommend one of these, and especially if you're the kind of person that maybe your fingers have a little bit of arthritis in them, or you just struggle with shampooing your hair as long as you technically should. These are a great alternative that really just help the health of your scalp. The next brush I want to comment on is this is the Tangle Teaser. Now I know they did update this, so there is one out now that actually has a handle, which I probably would recommend over this one because it slips out of my hand pretty easily. But again, this has really nice flexible bristles on it, and those flexible bristles are awesome because they're not going to damage your hair as much. You're not breaking the knots in your hair quite as easily. So as long as you use this mindfully, it's a really good tool to help you detangle. Because I know especially when I've gone like a week or so without detangling my hair, it can be a little bit of a challenge. So definitely recommend this. Now I know this is number 11, but I wanted to give this a little bit of an honorable mention because the rest of these are things that I think are really good to have in your arsenal and were really important for me in my healthy hair journey. This one was just a little bit less important, but I think it's still a useful tool. So this is a Denman brush, if you don't know what that is. But Denman brushes are really nice because they do a few things. One, they're going to help you distribute your product a little bit better. 2, they're going to help smooth the hair. So if you have issues with wet frizz, this is going to help smooth it out before your styling process so that once you're actually done with your styling, you'll have a lot less frizz. And if you use these as a styling tool, they can help give you really nice ribbon curls. I don't use this as much as I used to. So if you've seen my updated styling routine, I think I gave this a brief mention, but I don't actually really use it. So if you want to know how to use this, check out my first styling video. But it can be used to help give you really nice defined curls. So just honorable mention there. That's all I'll say. So those were my top 10 if you count only the ones that I counted, but otherwise it's more like 15. Anyway, so those are my top game-changing items that I really just feel like for me were huge game changers for the health of my hair, especially things like the heat caps and the bonnet really make a huge difference in the appearance of your hair. So I definitely recommend that you give some of these a try, check them out if you're interested. I do post a new video every Tuesday, so if you want to see more content from me like this, like and subscribe. I do a lot of just different healthy hair content, and hopefully I will see you next week.